So good afternoon. Okay. So now you are in almost at the verge of a final year. So for BSc sixth semester, I have been allotted for paper one organic chemistry. This paper one organic chemistry consisting of three important topics, mainly biomolecules called carbohydrates, then amino acids, proteins, and vitamins. Today I am going to take a very first topic in the organic section, carbohydrates. Actually 5 years topic is there, it is, and I have made into 4 parts. Today whatever I am discussing is, that is part 1. Basically, what are carbohydrates, how they are classified, classification based on the degradation or hydrolysis, and the sugars and non-sugars, and reducing sugars and the non-reducing sugars. And also we shall discuss some important structural features also of the carbohydrates. So I am presenting nearly about 26 slides in this session. This is an overall view of your topic, carbohydrates. Syllabus content, topic content. You have to learn definition and classification, what I am going to discuss today. Ozone formation, epimers and epimerization, interconversion of fructose and glucose, Killiani synthesis and rough degradation, ring structure of glucose, mutarotation, determination of ring size, Haworth-Hurst method, by the Haworth-Hurst method, perspective formula of D-glucose, then disaccharides, polysaccharides. Especially we have to discuss about partial structures of starch and cellulose. This is an overall view of your topic. Today I am going to present before you, that is, what are carbohydrates, how they are being classified, with some important examples. Already in PUC2 level, a very basic kind you have come across with this particular topic in the biomolecules, even including amino acids, proteins, vitamins, etc. Only thing, you may supposed to study the structural elucidation. Even in PUC2 level structural elucidation also you have learned about it, D-glucose and all. The new aspect is interconversion, where you have to learn the reactions, glucose to fructose, and ascending series, descending series of conversions. Then some important the phenomenon properties like mutarotation, ring size determination, etc. What exactly these carbohydrates? Word itself is representing that hydrates of carbon. Carbohydrates. When you look into this, it is representing that hydrates of carbon. These are most abundantly available biomolecules on the earth. You just see here, every year a plant can produce 100 billion metric tons of carbon dioxide and water that can be converted into a carbohydrate in the form of a cellulose, starch, and other plants products. I hope you are all CVZ and biotechnology students. You learned about photosynthesis reaction. It is a reversible reaction. Plants can absorb carbon dioxide and water, and photosynthesis reaction is taking place to give out the carbohydrate, a simple carbohydrate in the form of starch or cellulose, etc. Already you know that starch is a storage polysaccharide present in the plants. ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳೋದೆಲ್ಲ? Can you hear me now? Oh, okay, okay, thank you. Okay, this is a reversible reaction where photosynthesis is taking place to give out the carbohydrate. By the classical definition, our word itself is representing carbohydrates. Simply, we may call it as hydrates of carbon, carbon with water molecule. Even this formula is representing hydrate of carbon, CxH2OY. Okay. The carbohydrates are consisting of only carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. However, water is present, that is hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio of 2:1. When you look into this hydrate part, hydrogen is present in proportion of 2 and oxygen is 1, 2:1 ratio. So simply we may call them as hydrates of carbon. When a source, we can discuss it about the most of the plants or vegetable kingdom, they are the major source for the carbohydrates. Vegetable kingdoms are cellulose, starch, pectins, and the sugars, sucrose, glucose, etc. may be going to be present. In animals, especially in human beings, glycogen is present as a storage polysaccharide. Whenever energy is needed, this glycogen will undergo the hydrolysis to give out glucose and energy that will be converted in the form of energy. Plant materials are consisting of a structural component as a cellulose. But however, all these, by the classical definition, carbohydrates may be called as hydrates of carbon, having this kind of general formula, CxH2OY. Okay, suppose if you present it as a x is equal to 6, y is equal to 6, you may get the formula as a C6H12O6, that is glucose or fructose. But however, this definition or general formula does not holds good for all important set of carbohydrates. Let us, we can take here DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. It is consisting of a sugar moiety called as deoxyribose, a 5-membered sugar molecule, deoxyribose. When we apply general formula for this, it should be C5H10O5. But in fact, one of oxygen is less in case of the deoxyribose, hence the word is given as a deoxyribose. So formula is C5H10O4. When you apply general formula CX and H2OY, this formula of deoxyribose does not hold good for general formula. Similarly, you can take a rhamnose. It is one of the important sugar extracted from shrubs. used in anti-wrinkle creams. When you apply the general formula for this, when x is equal to 6, y is equal to 6, it should be C6H12O6. But in fact, formula is C6H12O5. So therefore, what it indicates that general formula is not holds good for all important carbohydrate molecules, or empirical formula we can say. But some of the important compounds which are not at all considered as carbohydrates. For example, you can take formic acid or acetic acid. C2H4 and O2. C2H4, O2. Just we can put it as CxH2OY. This formula represent, or it holds good for, with respect to the empirical formula of the carbohydrates. But acetic acid is not a carbohydrate. Then whether we can accept this classical definition or not, this is not an exact definition for the carbohydrates. When you look into the structures of different carbohydrate molecules, you can see here, this is structure of the glucose. It is a structure of the fructose. Glucose is consisting of aldehyde group with 3 to 4 hydroxyl functional groups. Fructose is consisting of carbonyl group with 3 to 4 hydroxyl functional groups. Some of them are secondary alcoholic, another is a primary alcoholic functional group here. Here also primary alcoholic functional group. When you look into the structure of these two important carbohydrate molecules, then how to define the carbohydrates? When you look into these two structures of glucose and fructose, how do you define about carbohydrates? Anyone please? Can you define? Huh? Yes. Okay, exactly. Carbohydrates are nothing but polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones, or those compounds can give or obtained by the hydrolysis of such derivatives. Carbohydrates are optically active because they are consisting of asymmetric carbon atoms. They can able to rotate plane of the polarized light. They may be dextrorotatory compounds or levorotatory compounds. So therefore, an exact definition for carbohydrates is given in such a way that carbohydrates are optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes and ketones, are those compounds that hydrolyze to yield optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones. This is an actual definition for the carbohydrates. We cannot write it as hydrates of carbon. And even empirical formula is not suitable for all carbohydrates. Only few carbohydrates can obey the empirical formula, that is CxH2OY. Okay, I hope you remember this definition. Carbohydrates are optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes and ketones, are those compounds that hydrolyze to yield. Those compounds means any higher compounds that upon hydrolysis to yield optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes and ketones. These are nothing but carbohydrates. Even examination alli 2 mark question ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ you have to write this particular definition. Okay, they are the optically active polyhydroxy aldehydes or ketones. When you go to the naming of these carbohydrates, generally under the classification they may be termed as saccharides, monosaccharides, disaccharides, polysaccharides, and so on. Saccharum is a Latin word, and in the Greek, saccharon, it refers to sugar, sweet in taste. And most of the carbohydrates, their names are ended with O's. Glucose, fructose, galactose, maltose, sucrose, and so on. The suffix is always ended with O's. O's stands for, by the reaction, as the carbohydrates are polyhydroxyaldehydes and ketones, they are consisting of a free aldehydic or ketonic functional group. They can readily react with phenylhydrazine. You know the reactions of aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes, ketones, when react with phenylhydrazine to give their respective phenylhydrazone derivatives. Similarly, carbohydrates can react with phenylhydrazine to give their respective hydrazone derivatives, often called as ozazones. ಓಝೋನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ತದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Carbohydrates, they can form oxazone derivative, and most of them names are being ended with O's: glucose, fructose, sucrose, and so on. How these carbohydrates have been classified? Carbohydrates are, in a broad sense, under the three important categories: based on hydrolysis, based on taste, based on reducing property towards Fellings solution, Tollens reagent, and Bendix reagent. Here I am discussing about the classification of carbohydrates based on the hydrolysis and formation of number of entities of simple sugars. Based on hydrolysis factor, you can find three important categories, classes: monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, polysaccharides. Monosaccharides means these are the carbohydrates. They cannot be further hydrolyzed to give any simple molecules or simple sugars. Monohydrosaccharides ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಎಂಟಿಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮುಂದೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೀತಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಲೈಸಿಸ್ ಆದಾಗ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Monosaccharides are nothing but these are simple sugars or simple carbohydrates. They cannot be further hydrolyzed to give any other simple molecules or simple sugars. Oligosaccharides. In Greek word, oligo means few. Those carbohydrates upon hydrolysis to give 2 to 9 units of monosaccharides. They may be called as oligosaccharides. Carbohydrates upon hydrolysis to give 2 to 9 monosaccharide units are called as oligosaccharides. If they can give only 2 units of monosaccharides, called as disaccharides. If give 3 units of monosaccharides, and so on. These are the oligosaccharides. Disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides means 4 units of monosaccharides are being formed by the hydrolysis. Pentasaccharides, and so on. However, these monosaccharides, depending on number of carbon atoms and functional groups, they have been further classified as trioses, tetroses, pentoses, hexoses, heptoses, by the presence of 3 carbons, 4 carbons, 5, 6, and 7. Then polysaccharides. Polysaccharides means Carbohydrates upon hydrolysis to give n number of ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ದು. Hello. Polysaccharides are nothing but carbohydrates upon hydrolysis to give n number of monosaccharide units. If they can give only one type of monosaccharide units are called as homopolysaccharides. If they give different set of monosaccharides are called heteropolysaccharides. Let us we shall see in detail about this classification. As already I have told you, monosaccharides are simple carbohydrates. They cannot be undergo further hydrolysis to give simple sugars. Their general formula is a CnH2nON. Glucose, fructose, galactose, and even other members of the series consisting of 4 carbons, 5 carbons may also called as monosaccharides. These monosaccharides, apart from number of carbon atoms, if they consisting of aldehydic functional group, they are called polyhydroxyaldehydes or aldoses. If they consisting of ketonic functional group, called as polyhydroxyketones or ketoses. Let us see here. The glucose is an aldose because there are 6 carbon atoms here, including this aldehydic functional group. More than one hydroxyl functional group is present, hence it is called polyhydroxyaldehyde, and it may be called as aldose. Because of presence of 6 carbon atoms, it may be regarded as an aldohexose. Aldohexose, aldehyde group, 6 carbon, hence it is called aldohexose. Similarly, fructose is consisting of a keto functional group. It is a ketose. Because of presence of 6 carbon atoms in the structure, it is called ketohexose. Glucose is aldohexose, fructose is a ketohexose. Suppose if a monosaccharide is consisting of 4 carbons, aldehydic functional group, then it is called tetraaldose. Similarly, tetraketose. Okay, so like how monosaccharides have been further classified. Let us see here some important examples of monosaccharides, especially consisting of aldehydic functional group. D-glyceraldehyde, it is consisting of only 3 carbon atoms. It is called aldotriose. When you take erythrose, 4 carbon atoms with aldehydic functional group, hence it is called aldotetrose. Similarly, arabinose is called aldopentose. 5 carbons with aldehydic functional group. Glucose and fructose are glucose is nothing but aldohexose. Fructose is called ketohexose. It is called ketohexose. So you can see here, these are the different set of the monosaccharides consisting of aldehydic functional group. Either they may be levorotatory or dextrorotatory. So from usually the third or second carbon atom, these are called asymmetric carbon atoms. They can have the capacity to rotate the plane of the polarized light. Then ketosis, you can see, it is a dihydroxyacetone. Suppose here instead of CS2, if it is CH3, CS3, C double bond O, CS3. This is acetone. But one of the hydrogen atom is replaced by what? OH group. Here also OH group. So therefore, it is called dihydroxyacetone because of the presence of 2 hydroxyl functional group. Even it is also called as 1,2,3 propane dialysis along with keto functional group. Okay, but simply we can call it as dihydroxyacetone. It is a keto triose. Then it is a keto tetrose, D-erythrulose, D-ribulose, D-xylulose. It is a levorotatory dextrorotatory compound. Then here also you will find, but you don't confuse with the capital D, because already we have learned about stereochemistry topic. This capital D, capital L representing relative configurations. Small d, small l are magnitude of sign as positive, negative representing dextro and levorotatory. So here D-ribulose, D-xylulose. The configuration is different here. Here OH group is on the right side, OH group is on the left side it is. But this is a levorotatory, it is a dextrorotatory compound. Similarly, you can see D-fructose, it is a levulose compound. D-sorabose, this is a dextrorotatory compound it is. Okay, of course, fructose is also called as levulose compound. All these are keto sugars, monosaccharides, and based on number of carbon atoms and functional groups. I hope you understand this. How monosaccharides being called as aldoses and the ketoses. Okay, this is a family of a different set of the aldoses. ಯಾವುದೇ aldehydic series ಅಲ್ಲಿ glyceraldehyde is a standard one. OH group is on the right side. It is a dextrorotatory. It can give out dextro-levo rotatory type of compound by retaining aldehydic function group. You can see all these are important set of the series of the compounds. Aldohexose or aldopentose series, and even other important the monosaccharides containing aldehydic functional group. Okay, you need not bother about all these structures. Simply you can remember structure of the glucose, fructose, galactose in the monosaccharides. To have a knowledge, we have to take these particular structures. Okay, then we shall move to oligosaccharides. Oligo means few. Those carbohydrates upon hydrolysis to give 2 to 4 or 2 to 9 units of monosaccharides, they are called oligosaccharides. If an oligosaccharide or carbohydrate upon hydrolysis to give same or different 2 monosaccharide units, they are called disaccharides. Disaccharides are represented by general formula CnH2O of n-1. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಜನರಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ರಿ, ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. The sucrose, maltose, lactose, all these are having same empirical formula C12H22O11. C12H22O11. All these are having same. When they get hydrolyzed, they can give different monosaccharide units, maybe same or different. Sucrose gives glucose, fructose. Maltose gives glucose, glucose. Then lactose gives glucose and galactose. Generally, hydrolysis may be enzymatic hydrolysis or acid hydrolysis. Okay, so these are the disaccharides: sucrose, maltose, lactose. Formula is C12H22O11. Even glucose, fructose, galactose, they are also having same molecular formula. Okay, disaccharides are nothing but carbohydrates upon hydrolysis to give the 2 monosaccharide units, simple monosaccharide units. Trisaccharides means they can give 3 monosaccharide units upon hydrolysis. When you compare the disaccharides, you will find CnH2O n-1. Monosaccharides are CnH2nOn it is. Here you will find CnH2O-1, or we can write CnH2nOn-1 it is. Then general formula for trisaccharides is CnH2O of N minus 2. CnH2N minus 2 ON minus 2. So this is how we can represent it. When you write the formula for this, raffinose, ketoses, maltotriose, etc., they're all having formula C18, H32, O16. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ವೇ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೆನ್ಪಿಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮೋನೋಸೆಕ್ರೈಡ್ಗೆ C6H12O6 ಅಂದರೆ 6 ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು. ಆ ಮೋನೋಸೆಕ್ರೈಡಿಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಡೈಸೆಕ್ರೈಡ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ just you can add C6H10O5. ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ C12H22O11 after adding C6H10O5 to C6H12O6. Similarly, for a disaccharide C12H22O11, if you add C6H10O5, you will get this trisaccharide molecule. Okay, this is the way you have to remember the writing of formula. So this raffinose, upon hydrolysis to give glucose, fructose and galactose. Some of the trisaccharides, they can give same unit. Here you can see maltotriose, glucose units are being present. In some of the trisaccharides, they are going to give two similar monosaccharides, another one is different. Anyhow, the trisaccharides are nothing but these are the oligosaccharides or carbohydrates upon hydrolysis to give 3 monosaccharide units. Polysaccharides means they can give n number of monosaccharide units. This is general formula for polysaccharides. C6H10O5 n times. Upon hydrolysis to give n number of monosaccharide units. So insulin, starch, glycogen, cellulose. All these are the important polysaccharides. Insulin is a hormone which maintains blood sugar level. Starch is a storage polysaccharide present in the plant. Glycogen is a storage polysaccharide present in the animals. Cellulose is a structural material present in the plant. Okay, so only animal can digest this cellulose because of the presence of an enzyme cellulase, but the human beings cannot going to consume this cellulose. Okay, it is a dietary component. Okay, then one more important classification is based on the taste, sugars and non-sugars. Those carbohydrates which are crystalline solids, soluble in water, sweet in taste. Carbohydrates, crystalline solids, soluble in water and sweet in taste. They are called sugars. All monosaccharides and oligosaccharides, they are all sugars because they are crystalline solids, soluble in water, sweet in taste. Okay. All these are the important examples towards the sugars. Non-sugars are nothing but they are amorphous solids, insoluble in water, having no taste. Starch, glycogen, cellulose. All polysaccharides are non-sugars. This is also a very important question. Apart from major classification for 5 marks, 5 marks ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ what are carbohydrates, give their classification means you have to write classification as monosaccharides, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides with examples. This question will be asking separately. What are sugars and non-sugars? Give examples. They will ask for 2 marks or maybe going to ask it for 3 or so on. The one more important classification is reducing and non-reducing sugars. Carbohydrates, especially monosaccharides, disaccharides, except sucrose, they are consisting of free aldehydic or ketonic functional group, either in enolic form or ketonic form, aldehydic or ketonic form. Those carbohydrates are capable to reduce Tollens reagent, Felling's solution, Benedict's reagent are called reducing sugars. I hope in fourth semester you have learned about reducing reactions of aldehydes and ketones. There you will find applications of Tollens reagent, Benedict's reagent, and Felling's solution. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಹೌದಲ್ರಿ? ಕಲ್ತಿರಿಲ್ಲ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಸೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಲ್ಲಿ? Anyone? Can you hear me? Hello? 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 ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? Okay. Reducing sugars are nothing but these are the carbohydrates which can reduce Tollens reagent, Felling's solution, Benedict's reagent. Those carbohydrates consisting of free aldehydic ketonic functional group, they can reduce these kinds of reagents. They are called reducing sugars. I hope you know that Tollens reagent means. Anyone? Tollens reagent ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಯಾರು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ? Ammoniacal silver nitrate solution is called Tollens reagent. Felling's solution means? What is Felling's solution? Anyone? Alkaline copper sulfate solution and sodium potassium tartarate, often called as a Roquelle salt, is called Felling's solution. Whenever aldehydes or ketones or carbohydrates heated with Felling's solution, a red precipitate of cuprous oxide is formed. That is nothing but reducing property. Similarly, Benedict's reagent is nothing but alkaline copper sulfate solution and sodium citrate. Mixture is called Benedict's reagent. Here also same reaction you will find whatever reaction taking place with the Felling's solution. All monosaccharides, glucose, fructose, galactose, and disaccharides, maltose and lactose are the reducing sugars. But sucrose is not a reducing sugar because it doesn't contain any free reducing part either at C1 or C2. Okay, you can see the structures here. Hemiacetal structure, ring structures have been present here. D-glucose, this part is reducing part. In a D-fructose you will find it is an enolic form of the structure where this part you may going to call it as a reducing part of the sugar. It is ketonic functional group. Okay, and non-reducing sugars means which do not able to reduce Tollens reagent, Felling's solution, and Benedict's reagent. Sucrose, trehalose, they are not supposed to be called as reducing sugars. They are all non-reducing sugars because in sucrose molecule, the C1 of glucose get joined with C2 of the fructose. You cannot find any free reducing part. That kind of linkage is called glycosidic linkage. You can see here, this is a C1 part and this is C2 part of the fructose. Both are being joined by this kind of linkage. It's called glycosidic linkage. Later I will discuss in detail while discussing about structures of the carbohydrates. So this particular part is totally locked and it cannot have any free kind of reducing part. Hence, we may call it as it is a non-reducing sugar. So this is how, so far whatever we have discussed is what are carbohydrates, how they are being classified. Classification based on the hydrolysis, monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, polysaccharides, and the classification based on these their taste like sugars and non-sugars, and further sugars further they have been classified as reducing and non-reducing type of the sugars. Okay, so with this I will stop it here And in the next class, I am going to discuss on the ozozoan formation, epimerization, and so on. Okay, some structural properties of these carbohydrates. ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. If you have any doubts regarding this carbohydrate part 1, especially about the classification and definition. Anyone, please? ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಏನಾದರೂ ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Okay, because all these are basic aspects of the carbohydrates. Okay, ನಿಮಗೆ ಎವ್ರಿ ಫ್ರೈಡೆ 1 to 150 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೆಂಡ್ ಎನಿ further intimation to your group. Just you can come on live and join for the class. Okay, thank you very much and stay safe. Huh? Thank you. Okay.